Mills, makers of kicks, invite you to beat the band. If you can. General Mills, makers of Kix, K-I-X, Kix, that delicious new ready-to-eat corn cereal that comes in delicious round golden bubbles, brings you another session of that new novel radio game, Beat the Band, featuring Ted Weems and his music, Perry Como, Marylin Maxwell, Elmo Tanner, Orm Downs, Country Washburn, Red Ingle, and Parker Gibbs, who join with Garry Moore to bring you this opportunity to beat the band. And the band you have to beat. Sure, and it's Ted Weems and his band, celebrating St. Patrick's Day with his arrangement of The Wearing of the Green.
Originally broadcast from Chicago, NBC's Beat the Band began airing on January 28, 1940 at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It was sponsored by Kix Cereal. Listeners submitted riddles with song titles. If the band couldn't figure out the answer, the riddle submitter got $30 and a box of Kix Cereal. Garry Moore emceed, and Ted Weems conducted his orchestra. His three singers were Parker Gibbs, Marylin Maxwell, and the soon-to-breakout Perry Como. The March 17, 1940 episode was called The Wearing of the Green.
You've met the band you have to beat. Now meet the man who helped you beat the band, Garry Moore.
Well, Ford, I think I'll occupy my time today trying to control those involuntary jam sessions that keep springing up lately, because these questions can fight it out without much help from me. And need I mention that each question used today will earn the writer of that question $10. Besides that, double money, $20, and a case of kicks is guaranteed to those whose questions beat the band. But it may be much more, because we have a $100 bonus to divide among those who beat the band. For example, if three people beat the band, they get $33 1/3 plus $10 for their question and a case of kicks. However, if only one person beats the band, that person will get the entire $100 bonus plus $10 for the question and a case of kicks. Now, that's simple, isn't it? And profitable, too, if you can beat the band. So why not try it, by the way, if you haven't already? Send your question to Beat the Band, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Well, now, as we get into our questions, remember to listen for the boom of the old bass drum. It means that someone's question has beat the band. This portion of our program, of course, is unrehearsed, and the men in the band do not know the questions I will ask. All right, fellas, a quick mental switch to your boyhood. Mrs. C.I. DeWeese of Irwin, Pennsylvania writes, while little Johnny's mother was washing his mouth out with soap, his little sister looked at him accusingly and said, what? My little Johnny's mother. All right, there goes Elmo Tanner's hand up in the air. Elmo, what is it?
A sin to tell a lie?
Oh, that would have been awful good, Elmo. I'm awful sorry you didn't win. No, the answer is, ooh, what you said.
Ooh,
that's why she washed his mouth out.
Sorry.
I'm awful sorry, Elmo. You're going to have to throw 50 cents on the drum, if you will. Boom, there it goes. And Mrs. C.E. DeWeese of Irwin, Pennsylvania, receives a full case of kicks and a guarantee of not less than $20, but it may be much more. Remember that bonus. Incidentally, Elmo, can you sing or whistle, ooh, what you said? If you can, you get 5 points on the scoreboard. All right, good enough. I give you your 5 points on the... I'm surprised he can whistle. You know, Elmo is now 3 days a father. Isn't it cute? 3 days, George. Incidentally, it's a 7-pound boy. Has you got a job yet, Elmo? Huh? No job, huh? Shiftless little fellow, isn't he? Well, all right, never mind. Maybe his pappy can do better. But if you want to keep throwing 50 cents in the drum, he's going to be broke before he gets to be 2 years old. But now we come to our second question. Today being a great day for the Irish, and if you don't believe it, ask one of them. We offer a question propounded by Paul D. Lytle of Urbana, Illinois. Says, Patrick, 'tis a great distance this trip I'm taking. Now, what song title is suggested by that? Tis a great distance, this trip I'm taking, and there goes Elmo Tanner. He wants to try again, all right?
It's a long way to Tipperary.
Bravo, my boy. You got it. All right, all right. And so Elmo Tanner gets 10 points up on the scoreboard and doesn't have to feed the old bass drum. Now, here we go into our third question. Are there any leathernecks in the crowd? Graham Moore of Seattle, Washington writes, what very popular song is suggested by the motto of the United States Marines, Semper Fidelis? What very popular song? All right, there goes Parker Gibbs, hand up in the air.
Well, Semper is faithful forever.
That's absolutely right. Semper Fidelis means always faithful.
Always faithful, yeah.
Good enough. Can you play it? All right. Good enough. And Parker Gibbs gets his first 10 points up on the scoreboard for today. And now, boys, you can take it easy, because here's one for Ted to answer. Ted, if the whole band started playing at once, and they all started on the same tune, what would the title be?
Well, if they started to play the one we rehearsed, and they better, it would probably be Make Love with a Guitar. And I wouldn't be surprised if Perry Como sang it.
Make love with a guitar. If you should meet her, sweet senorita, romance with a guitar. And when you find her, the strings will bind her. Make love with a guitar.
The show lost its time slot against CBS's Gateway to Hollywood. It went off the air on February 23, 1941, but was revived from New York in June of 1943. Now submitters won $25 and a carton of Raleighs, and $50 for beating the band. Packs of Raleighs were sent to servicemen in the war effort. The show went off the air for good on September 6, 1944.
Make love with a guitar. Always the right time, daylight or night time. No, she'll not withstand it. And as I've planned it, she'll say I love you.
As far as I can make out, a lot of you good people seem to be searching these days for a new breakfast food that stays deliciously crisp in milk or cream. Am I right? Well, then, ladies and gentlemen, consider your search over for good. The kind of cereal you've been wanting is waiting for you at the grocery store right now. It's called Kix. That's right, K-I-X, Kix. And it's a swell new ready-to-eat corn cereal popped into tiny round bubbles and toasted a crisp, delicious golden brown. Crisp? Why, these tiny tantalizing bubbles are made to stay crisper than any ordinary flat flake cereal on the market. Even the last delicious spoonful is delightfully crisp and crunchy right down to the last swell golden bubble. Try Kix, will you? Above everything else, Kix stays crisp.
And we barge into our second load of questions with only one person having beat the band so far, with Elmo Tanner ahead to collect the money in the big bass drum at the end of the program. Now, on this session, boys, we'll start with a loud rah-rah and then get into this question from Miss Cecily Warner of the Bronx, New York. Here it is. Your father built the stadium for the college, and because the football coach can't risk offending him, you make the first-string squad of the college football team. Now, what song title tells you what you have? It's from a show, from a musical comedy. Your father built the stadium for the college, and because the football coach can't risk offending him, you make the first-string squad of the college football team. What song title tells you what you have? Does anybody know the question slipping by? I'm sorry, gentlemen, the answer is varsity drag. That's how you got on the team, you dopes. All right, and all of them rise as one and throw 50 cents in the drum. Good enough? All throw 50 cents in the drum to be collected by the winner at the end of the program. And Miss Cecily Warner of the Bronx, New York, receives $20 in cash, a minimum, plus a whole case of kicks. That's a lot of kicks, 24 big packages, but the new Crisp Assured Kicks package...